Hey everybody, welcome back to the Breath of Fire 3 walkthrough. We are, let's see here, we just got done, I believe, speaking with Dias. And I'm going to stop in at Junktown. Oh, I'm sorry, you know what, we actually had to, we did just come from Rapala. Found out that the ship was, once again, not in service. But anyways, so here in Junktown, and if you haven't bought it already, you can buy the Thunder Rod. One thing that I never mentioned about that is it actually does cast I believe it's Jolt in combat, so you can use it in your in combat as an item, and it'll cast Jolt for free. So back there was the last hide and go seek kid. So actually, at this point, if you want to apprentice under the hide and seek kids, you can do that at this point. This is where you finally can get the last one, and obviously that was her right there. So, so the oh yeah, we have a little detour. Anyways, so the boat's broken. And Bade came to check on it and see how things were going. So we will head back over there. This guy right here is like, I believe he's called the Master Fisherman. He's got some items for you after you've beat the game, like actually cleared the game. If your fishing rank is high enough, and I'll touch on that a bit more if and when I ever actually do that. But anyways, inside the house here is another Gene. The question mark Gene. The I don't know Gene. That one has a few uses. Few and far between. Not really any combos that I ever did much with, so. Anyways, that's about it for that little spot. You can do a ton of fishing now if you want. I believe there's only one other fishing spot in the entire game. But for the most part, you can access all of the different, fishing spots. Like I said, other than the final spot. All right. We didn't know it would take so long to fix your ship. Alright. So we're going to help Bade out again. Here in a bit. And you actually need Momo. So the one thing that actually continues this dialogue here with after you finish this little bit of dialogue, you need Momo at the front of your party and speak to Bade, and she'll offer to help fix the boat. So, if you didn't come in here with Momo right away, that's fine. That's not that big of a deal. Just know that you'll have to exit Junktown and come back with her. And again, at the front of your party. You can't just have her with and speak to Bade, but yeah. So Bade even points out, he's like, "Hey, sorry, the ship's not working just like before." But yeah, here you go. So with Momo at the front of the party, Bade'll say, "Hey, that's right, you're an engineer, so can you lend us a hand, buddy?" And we have one of the more annoying mini games coming up. Not, in my opinion, not the hardest one in the game, but it's maybe second. Maybe second. I don't know. I can't really think. I'm trying to think of all the different ones in the game, and yeah, I think that one's second most difficult. actually, and the other, in my opinion, the more difficult is coming up quite a bit, or very, very soon as well. So, boy, I'm trying to think of some other fun battle-oriented stuff to think of. I guess I would say, you know, again, now this is the playthrough where I really went. There, Momo draws us a little diagram of the parts that we're gonna need to fix this. But anyways, like I said, in this playthrough, this is the one where I really developed the fairy village as soon as I could. So I had access to, you know, the best or the smartest fairies to run the copy shops. And it was, you know, I think I had them going on Swalloweyes, you know, so basically right away. So at this point I had access to a ton of extra Swalloweyes that you wouldn't normally have, and thus you know, I ended up using them on the characters that I had intended on, I guess, using the most, that being obviously the main character, and then Ri and Momo. So they were a bit, I believe they had a bit more agility than they normally would. Otherwise, I actually, now that I think about it, I may have just hoarded all of the Swalloweyes for use later. But that being said, if you've got access to a couple of smart fairies, and if you can, you know, if you've got some copy shops going, you can copy the Thunder Rings. You know, like I would recommend having, you know, at least 2, 3 would probably be best, as they do come in very handy for this this upcoming boss fight. So, and then here we have to talk to. You have to come in here, basically, and talk to this guy with the. It looks like he's got a little bandana on or something, but he's the guild master in this town. So you do need to speak with him before you can continue on the story. And I think I talked to this guy like 3 times in a row or something. I think it was 3. Go down to Steel Beach. Go down to Steel Beach. Go down to Steel Beach. Sorry about that. I was just mashing the dialogue button while I was, you know, obviously watching something else. Yes, and here we can finally enter Steel Beach. I shouldn't say finally enter it. You can actually get to the other side of Steel Beach. I said you can't go in there. Yeah. We get it, buddy. To the Machine Guild. Is that the name of that? The Machine. Yeah. And look at this guy. I want this guy in my party. Look at. He just looks like he'd be brutal in battle. You know, he looks like he's about the same size as Gar, except he's one of those like cool ox dudes. And okay, so this is the mini game I was talking about. Basically, what you do is once the white flag goes up, that means it's his turn to pull the rope in. You have to keep the rope within like 2 meters, I believe it is. If you get much more than 2 meters, it'll slip, and you'll fail. You can't pull the rope unless your flag is up. Your flag is the red flag. And I think one of the important things to know about this mini game, though, is that when the flag is up, you have to be pulling the rope. You don't necessarily have to be mashing the button really, really hard. And actually, I wouldn't really recommend that either, because you can catch yourself, you know, hitting it too fast, and then he'll drop the flag, and you can hit the button an extra time. And then that'll actually make the rope slip too. So here he is explaining, and this is the example of when the rope gets too far apart. See, so he's at like 2.2 what was that? That was about 2.5. Yeah, so 2.5, at 2.5 meters, the rope slips, and you lose. So you always want to try to stay within 2 meters, and try not to be too far behind him. But anyway, so I actually have two examples of failing due to what is this? This is due to not pulling the rope. So I believe in this one I was getting close to that 2 meter. I was way ahead of him because I was just mashing the button as fast as I could every time it was my turn. And so I was getting really far ahead of him, and I was getting really close to that 2.5 meter point, ahead of him. And so I couldn't pull anymore, otherwise the rope was gonna slip. But here's the catch, though. You can't not pull. When the rope is up, or when your flag is up, you have to be pulling the rope. Again, you don't necessarily have to be mashing the crap out of it when it's your turn, but you have to be you have to be pulling the rope in, otherwise it slips and you fail. So again, here we'll get up to a point here where I actually end up failing because I was getting too far ahead of him, and it was my turn. So I'm a full meter ahead of him. Now I stopped. I had to stop there because I was about to hit the 2.5 meter mark, and so it slipped. So just like, don't get too ahead of him, and don't don't take it easy and just think that everything is going to work out, because he'll get ahead of you as well. And oftentimes he'll get two turns in a row, and that can happen with you too. You can end up getting 2 turns in a row, which can also get you in trouble. So really what you want to do, I guess, to sum everything up, is to really keep an eye on the distances. And if he has just got 2 turns in a row, he won't get, I believe he won't ever get a third turn in a row. So if he's got 2 turns in a row and he's like a meter ahead of you, you're going to want to try to get, as close to even, if not, be a bit ahead of him. But like I said, keep an eye on the distances. He's taking it easy, and now I should probably take it easy, but I didn't. Now see, I'm getting way ahead of him. Well, I guess not way ahead of him, but yep. And so there it slipped because the flag went up and I just didn't hit the button. So it just, like I said, you have to be pressing the button, not, like I said, not necessarily hitting it really hard, but keep a good rhythm. If you notice yourself getting way ahead of him, just keep a slow rhythm going, but just make sure that you're hitting it. And if he's got way ahead of you, then obviously you need to turn on the gas and really bash that button. I think this next one should be the actual successful attempt. So we'll see how I did it. Start. All right. And I don't know. I think he always gets to go first. I mean, I don't know. I guess I wasn't really paying attention. I think I was really getting a good feel for when my turn was going to be done too, so it was easier for me to slow down and not hit the button, when it wasn't my turn. Like I said, I think I had a really good feel for when my turn was about to end. And there, see, I'm not a full meter ahead of him. He took it easy. And here I should have kind of slowed down. I feel like I went a little too fast here, but it ended up okay. Yeah, see that? I had to really take it easy because I got way ahead of him. Alright, same deal. Take it easy here. Alright. And then kind of go even with him. I got a little ahead of him. No big deal, though. And he gets 2 turns in a row. But, I was close, so it didn't matter. Alright, and then I just hammered it to try to get ahead of him a little. Yeah, he gets 2 turns in a row again. So, see, if I was lagging behind him, I would have been in trouble there a couple of times. But I kept real nice and even with him. And then at around the, once you get down to like what was that, like 4.8 meters or something like that, that's when the game is over and you've basically won. What is it? Run! Maybe I don't want that guy in my party. He just took off when it came to actual danger. Alrighty. So a couple of things to know about the Angler is he is 75% resistant to status and psionics. So you can land stuff on him. It's just not gonna happen that much. And here I went into Gar to equip him because he's got just garbage. Wow, the long spear? That's like the second spear in the game. Speed boots. Why bother? There's no way he's getting an extra turn here. I think I went with the... yeah. Okay. Oh, and then you know what? Yeah, I realized. I was like, hey, why don't I equip this sweet beast spear? Brings his agility down to nothing. Yeah, so he's definitely not going to be getting any extra turns. And I think I just used multi-strike with him most of the time, if not all the time. I'm not sure. All right, so back to the Angler. No resistance to fire, ice, earth, or wind. But 50% resistant to lightning, which seems odd because he's a fish. I would have thought, kind of like the dolphin, he would have been weak to thunder, but not the case. Not the case. Yes, he does have a learnable enemy skill, Thunderclap, which he uses every third turn. So, kind of useful to know. And has a fish head to steal, which is one of very few places in the game that you can actually get those. If I remember right, the dolphin... Yeah, actually, ironically, we're speaking of the dolphin. I believe the dolphin and the Angler are actually the only two bosses that you can steal those from. What else? So yes, Thunderclap, here you go. Every third turn. So if you want to learn that. And also, like I had mentioned earlier, if you've got Thunder Rings, I would suggest equipping them on your characters. So, like I said, if you've got your fairy village built up and you can copy. Otherwise, if you plan on... if you don't have access to the copy shop and you still only have one of them, you can actually transform the main character into, like, say, it probably makes sense to give him like a thunder gene with the force, to turn him into a warrior that can absorb lightning abilities. I think that makes sense. That's not how I did it, because I don't know. I guess I just didn't put any thought into my transform for this battle. So I guess learn from my mistakes. It ended up working out just fine. But one other thing, that I really should have done. So there you go. I landed a speed down, although I don't know that did any good. I guess we'll see if I get any extra turns because of it. And I continued to blind. I made sure not to transform because I wanted to get that. I wanted to learn Thunderclap before I transformed. And in all honesty, buffing the main character is kind of a waste as well. When you transform into a dragon, all those buffs just get wasted. So there wasn't a whole lot of reason to even bother. And then I think, I forgot that I had already stolen from him. So I try again. Oh, he doesn't have anything weird. Imagine that. And I just could not land blind. Alright, let's see if we learn it. There we go. There's Thunderclap. And in all honesty, it is a weak skill. That is a very weak ability. Even if, even with a good amount of intelligence, that's a tough one to, it's a tough one to really make use of. Okay, so it looks like I have the Spirit Ring equipped on the main character as well as the Ivory Charm. I definitely have an Ivory Charm on Rhea as well. Yeah, see, so they get 1 health every turn from that. Unfortunately, in one of the other things I really should have done was have an influence on somebody. This is a really good fight actually to showcase Weretiger. He's just, you know, again, I spent so much time on the main character in just regular human form that so there you see he used Bone Dart, which confused the main character, which, you know, he's not crazy overpowered, so it's not like he's gonna be one-shotting any of the other members of the party, but that's, you know, it's more annoying than anything. Being that I sorry, excuse me, being that I did have the Ivory Charm, I did have a 50% resistance to that, but you know, whatever, it landed anyway, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. You know, if you've got your fairy village built up as much as I do, you can actually buy an item called the Protectors from, I believe it's the weapon, it's one of the weapon shops. I can't remember if it's speed or ability, but anyways, the Protectors give you an additional 50% reduction to status change. So, you know, like I said, if you've got the fairy village built up as much as I do, you can make use of that as well, and thus, you know, potentially have 100% resistance to status change at this point in the game. Alright, so I used the warrior with, I wasn't paying attention, it's gotta be Thorn, my HP is really low. So warrior, Thorn, and it looks like Shadow. I looked away for a second, and that's how it goes. I always do. Yeah, that's definitely the Shadow Gene. So I'm just gonna focus. Basically, this fight is basically over already. I want to say this next aura is just gonna crush him. Ironic or interesting that you can still use the aura skill as a shadow dragon, being that, you know, aura is a holy, or has the holy property. It's kind of random interesting fact. Hit him with that multi-strike Gar, you beast. I don't know. It feels really weak. I don't think I did anything with Gar on this game. Maybe I did. It does look like his AP, he has 1 more point of AP. Like, yeah, that was alright. So that was, I think, two focus, and then an aura. Gar 22. I did something with him. What would that have been? That would have been 9 levels. I think, ooh, maybe Bunyan. I think my plan was to get Bunyan skills. Oh no, I used him a couple of other times, now that I think about it. Obviously Angel Tower, because he's forced into your party, but... Alright, so now we can finally, we can run around and grab these parts. It's good to know there are extra parts, so if you want, say, something like a complete inventory or something, there are a couple of extra parts that will stay in your inventory then for the rest of the game. They won't be usable by any means, but you know, if for some reason you want a full item list or something like that, then make sure that you hang on to, or I should say, make sure that you only hand Momo the parts that she absolutely needs, and I will be going over that. And these parts can be they're hidden pretty well. Part F. All right. So anyways, so now I mean obviously there's a couple of parts outside the freighter itself, and then the rest of them are inside. And these ones are quite a bit trickier than the ones on the outside. Those ones out there were fairly easy. And then here we have the reintroduction of, I don't know what basically basically these guys are upgraded nut men or nut enemies. I don't know what you want to call them, but very, 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 very high dodge rates. So they can be a little annoying to fight, or very annoying to fight. I'm gonna go with very. I found them very annoying. My other playthrough, I was crushing these things with the charge ability, because I had something stupid like 400 defense on the main character. I basically lived in Mount Zublo, so I had, like I said, just a ton of defense, and it was funny watching them just drop like rocks to that skill. Oh, I had forgot. I didn't learn Frost Strike from Patrio in this particular playthrough. I tried. I shouldn't even say tried. I did the arena battles at such a low level that I got, I would say, pretty frustrated, because I would get to the Patrio fight and he would get a lucky strike. He got a lucky strike on me like every turn, the first turn every time, and it would just one shot me. So I eventually just I couldn't even stomach fighting the rest of the battles up to him and then trying to learn it. So I just decided it wasn't worth it and kept going. It's an okay skill. It's not horrible by any means, but I don't know. I just didn't want to put the time into learning it there. I'm trying to think of anything that's weak to basically. So Frost Strike, might as well discuss it right now, and I think I'm about to learn it here. Frost Strike can or has the potential to make an enemy fall asleep, and that goes off of its status resistance. So there you go. There, I learned it. So the strike itself is basically it's got the frost property, which is useful in some areas. But again, in my opinion, the real benefit to it is the addition of the sleep, which I feel it definitely is useful in some areas of the game. One thing I'll say, so there is a I believe it's called a nut mage in this area as well, but I never ran into it. So I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky. The bolt actually can also drop the royal dagger, but the drop rate's horrible. I wouldn't recommend getting it here. As far as the other enemies, there's a bolt archer. He doesn't have any good steals or drops, so no big deal. And then there is the bolt mage here as well, like I said, that I never ran into, at least not here. I think I ended up running into him quite a bit later. But that nut mage does actually have a good drop. It's the Robe of Wind, which is good and can actually be used in combat. I believe it gives you... Oh man, you know what? I gotta look it up because I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, here, you know what? I'm gonna have to use it in battle because I don't remember. But anyways, so you know, we'll touch that subject again in a bit. But here you really gotta use your camera angles to find all these parts here, because they really did a good job of hiding this stuff, these parts. And I actually, on this playthrough, I missed one of the items, which I cut in here in a little bit, and I'll actually point that out. So, you know, long story short, I had to come back in here. And you really don't want to have to come in here if you can avoid it. Uh-oh. I think I have my Robe of Wind equipped on somebody. Oh, man. What a drag. Well, stay tuned. I'm going to have to get back to you on that, because I am... You know what? I'll just look it up. I'll look it up quick, because that's going to bug me. There you go. There's the cut that I was talking about. There was a part back there that, again, I missed. And, yeah, it was really annoying that I had to come back in here. You know, luckily this isn't a huge dungeon, and there are no random encounters down here. So that is probably the nice part about it. But still, a little annoying having to come back in. Ouch. Owie, owie, owie. Okay, cast speed. Gosh, how did I forget that? So the Robe of Wind casts speed in battle. So, you know, if you hadn't already known, there are basically, when you go into your use menu, you know, normally it would just it starts on the item page, and you know, that's where you can use your, you know, your healing herbs or your vitamins and stuff in battle. But if you move over to your weapon page, generally the majority of your weapons are going to be in gray, because you can't do anything with them in combat. But there are some certain items in the game that you can, and some of them, you know, they will do different things. The Robe of Wind, for instance, which is what we just got here, casts the speed spell. So the same spell that Ri and Momo have access to, you can use with the Robe of Wind. So one of the more useful items in the game, to you know, buffing items in the game. So, you know, if you don't have it equipped on somebody, which that's the catch, if you have it equipped on somebody, you can't use it. So you know, don't, I guess if you want to use it as a buffing item for people, don't have it equipped on somebody. So, you know, and that's actually, it's a very, very cool little addition to the game. And I mean, it took me, I don't even remember when I learned that, but it's actually very useful. You can do extra things with people that you couldn't normally do. You know, this is actually a perfect example of that. You know, if you don't like using Ri, or if you don't like having Momo in your party, you know, that's, you know, but you like the speed ability, then that's one of your options. The other thing is, you know, you can copy those in the fairy shop, and thus you will have more in your inventory. And you know, in any one given turn, you know, you could use up to 3, you know, in a turn. Otherwise, you could only use, you know, if you only have 1, you can only use one per turn. So, you know, again, if you wanna cast speed with all 3 of your characters in one turn, you know, you will need 3 Robe of Winds. But anyways, that is gonna bring this video to a close. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But hope you join me for more videos. All right, thanks for watching.